Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, that's great. So first,
What about you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, saying. And after hearing your results, definitely I'm very, very good. So there are so many students have cracked NET this time. Okay, and that's awesome. But first of all, congratulations to you for
Thank
clearing
you,
NET.
sir.
Yeah. So how was your experience? Or
So, as like any competitive exam, it was challenging at first. UGC NET, so many like this time 9 lakh people gave this UGC NET. So it was challenging at first, but I was practicing lot of questions as well. MCQs, previous year question papers, mock tests, and thanks to Jurisedge Academy as well. Because they have covered all the portions. If you see the syllabus, there are like 10 topics in paper one as well as 10 topics in paper two. Right. So they have covered all of the topics in a 6 months time. So every day we had classes and also it was after that it was like a piece of cake work.
true, true. Yeah. That's one very important thing, saying that you have mentioned. Okay, there are so many subjects in paper one and paper two, and that has to be completed within that short span of time. It's not like 1 year that you have, right? You have 6 months, and in that 6 months, you have to complete paper one and complete paper two, then you have to revise. So there are two, three different portions to it, right?
Yes, sir,
And
definitely.
right. And as you rightly suggested, K, we have classes to complete paper one and paper two. Okay, and everything is completed. There are so many other institutes who just take only paper one, so they have a lot of time to complete all those things, right? So for us, we have to complete comprehensively and also complete both the papers. So that's another part. Okay, so that's that you have suggested. This time, if you, I mean, how did you find the paper one pattern and the question this time in this current UGC NET December, Sahin?
So paper one, usually paper one is the most difficult part for me. Because this data interpretation, logical reasoning, it has got so many mathematical questions, and generally it is very difficult for a student who pursues law.
Hmm.
So teaching aptitude, research aptitude, and communication, all that part we can study and we can attend the questions.
Yeah.
And but in logical reasoning and data interpretation, we have to do the max and we have to find out the answers. What happened in my last time was I did some questions and I went, but the last time pattern was somewhat different. But if we see this time, it was more. I was more about prepared, right? Because there were like so many sessions from this Jurisedge Academy as well. So every important things in paper one, it didn't cover. I would not say that it covered all the topics, but every important topics in the part of the examination while we are looking into the previous year question paper as well. What we had to learn has
Hmm.
been described to us, has been given to us in a capsule.
Yeah.
So there were study materials that we can go through, and there were mock tests for every chapter.
Yeah.
So by doing that mock test, it prepares us well.
True.
So that is the main attractive point of this Jurisedge Academy, and I am very happy that I was a part of this Jurisedge Academy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, Sahin, as you stated the paper one, right? One important part you mentioned, the important part that has been covered, right? That's very important. Because there are so many things to cover. You need to understand what's not important for you, which is equally important what is important for you. That attempt. Because there are so many things to do. If there is no filtering, what is important, you might get lost in the not so important part.
Yes, sir. The syllabus is such that it is like a sea, right? We have to get what is right for us, what is important for us. We have to choose from it. So
Yeah.
how can we choose it? We can choose it by looking onto the question papers. What are the pattern of the question papers? And such questions has been discussed with us. Such areas has been discussed with us and taught us. So that was the important point. And looking at to the paper one also,
Yeah.
it depends upon the people's caliber to catch up things while doing max and all. It depends upon the people's caliber and their grasping power to
Hmm.
know how well they are occupied. So it was taught to us in such an easy way that everyone could have got it, and everyone could be able to understand what was taught. So I would appreciate basically the data interpretation part. So many lectures were there regarding that part, because every time, 5 questions come from it as a table, and mathematical questions are there, which will be like 5 more. So it will be very difficult for me. It is very difficult to catch up to those things. But this this attempt, I cracked the 5 questions. Cracked the 5 questions in data interpretation, that table they give now. So I cracked the whole of the questions and I got full marks in it. So all that credits goes to the Jurisedge Academy, because they have been giving like data interpretation. For me, it was my weaker section, so I concentrated it more. There were mock tests regarding it. A previous year question paper was discussed, and as well as the faculty who taught us was already qualified with NET. So you had an experienced faculty as well.
Yeah.
So it was like icing on the top.
Yeah, definitely. So as you have discussed regarding the paper one, okay, what about the paper two? Because paper two is constantly changing, Sahin. If you see the last each and every time, the changes that you find in the paper one is okay. There is a okay, it's changing, but paper two change is pretty much drastic in each and every attempt what they're asking. There are different kind of flavor, everything. Every time they're asking, what you are going to say in this particular aspect in paper two?
So we have to look at the syllabus first, and syllabus is mostly important, and we have to cover all the portions which is important to us or which is less known to us. We have to study it. We have There were classes, and during the classes I used to take notes, right? So at the last moment I can refer to the that notes, and last minute preparation went well regarding paper 2. And what happens in paper 2 is that now a lot of question is coming from IPR, some question is coming from IT. So we study subjects like jurisprudence, constitutional law, and we study family law, IPC. So we study these major acts or major parts that we have to study. But we skip these IPR, IT law, saying that it is small questions or 2 questions would come. But if we see the trend now, most of these questions or 5, 6 questions are coming from these areas. So it is important that we looked on to this special subject as well. So there were this we will generally look into commercial law, but we will look into contract act, but we will not look into sale of goods act and some other portions like that, right? So special coverage for these individual topics were also given. So for IPR, one faculty was there. For teaching IT, one faculty was there. For teaching human rights, one faculty was there. So the faculty which was covering commercial law covered negotiable instruments, sale of goods. So it was very helpful in that manner also.
True. And I just wanted you to discuss the changing pattern of paper 2, how the question is getting asked. Okay, because how UGC is changing the way they are framing the question. That I want you to highlight a little bit for the coming student.
Yeah, so as well as for the major acts, we might be studying major act as well. So with major acts, we have to study these minor subjects as well. So we have to give importance to this minor subject as well. So that is from my part. So this time what happened is that last time many of the questions came from family law, IPR. Most of the questions were from there. We can see questions from jurisprudence. We can see question from environmental law in the last exam. But in this exam, we find a little question from jurisprudence, or by the question in jurisprudence were not that much direct. Or from environmental law, we could find only like 3, 4 questions. But more of the questions were from constitutional law. Even the comprehension in part 2 was from 2 comprehensions for both of them was from constitution. So they are changing, and we could find most question from IPC as well. And we could find some questions from IPR, and ITX some question was there. So we could, as I would say that we couldn't predict which area they would ask more. It is like an alternative. If we say we have to cover all of the major acts as well as these minor acts as well, because we didn't know. Maybe next time another subject will be having more question, and some subject will be having less questions. So we may not know that. So we have to have an idea, general idea about all of the things. The best thing you have to do is you have to make notes. So you will not get you will not get time to make notes all of the all of the subjects, but you can make you can see previous year at least through 3 4 years previous year question paper you can see, and you can see the Jurisedge is taking classes regarding the important parts or previous year question papers parts they are taking they're telling that this is important and they are teaching it. So that part you can make notes, and at the last minute you can refer to that notes, which will be helpful.
Definitely. So another thing, Sayed, as you have rightly mentioned about the notes and the study material and also the classes, right? The importance of the previous year's question paper, right? That I want to ask you, because if you see the previous year's papers, even looking back to 2 3 years back, how the how critical role the previous year's question paper played in UGC, right? Currently, the previous year's question paper's role getting diminished in each and every attempt. What's your understanding regarding that?
That is really true. What is happening is that generally in any competitive exam, we would refer this previous year question paper. But in UGC next exam, we will hope that this question might come. So this topic has been asked more. So this might come. But it is diminishing. It is diminishing as it is true. But we will get a general idea about how to attend the answer, or how far they can ask, or whether they have asked it in the syllabus or not, or whether they have asked in out of syllabus questions, or whether we can have a chance to challenge that question. So for that you have to have an idea about the question paper. So without looking into the question paper, you cannot say anything. So doing previous year question paper and practicing previous year question paper is important. If at all the same question is not repeated in the next time, okay, because you have to have an idea about how to attend that question and how the question will be asked. Like for example, now nobody is asking about what is the case law. They are asking about the years of the case law, and they are asking about which judge gave the judgment. And one question was there in the jurisprudence: we have to arrange the order of the jurists who lived at that time, or who lived accordingly. Uh, so we have to arrange that. So we cannot predict how these people are asking question, but if we look at the previous year question paper only, we will analyze that these kind of question are being asked regularly. These kind of questions are being asked. So we will have a better structured study plan. Like we will give importance to the date of each case laws, important case laws. We will know chronological order of the case laws, right? So we will know these cases belong to this issue. So we have to know that we have to know that. For that we have to look into previous year question paper.
So importance of the previous year's question paper is a little bit changed now. You can't really directly get the question from previous year's question.
Yeah.
What was the approach earlier in the 2 3 years back? You just attempt the previous question paper and you will get directly question from the previous question paper and you will crack the net. That's not how it's the case right now. Now the situation is you will get the approach, what kind of questions are getting asked. Definitely previous year's question paper important. Go practice it. But don't expect many questions to be repeated from the previous question paper. Okay, so the fresh question will be asked, and that what the jurist wala question that you were saying. The many students are saying, so what kind of question is this? How many days lived, date of birth, all those things are getting asked. Okay, so that's a very great understanding from your side. So overall, saying how was your journey with Jurisedge? Because you joined here and you attempted this exam. How was the overall journey with us?
So I would actually explain that it was my third attempt. So first two attempts I lacked some points or some marks. So I know I had some problem with cracking this max question DI, and I had to have a better approach to study. So what I did was I saw this Jurisedge poster on social media, and it was a wonderful experience because we are having this experienced faculty who knows the subjects in and out, through and out, and all of the faculties are already net qualified, so they already have this experience, and we have this access to materials 24 into 7. Like for 6 months we have these soft copies of these materials, and we have this mock test, and we have this previous year question paper which are solved. And that is the main part. You have videos in your app which shows about previous year question paper analysis of this previous year question paper, in which every question has been described, and answer how it is answered has been described in it. So it is a very important fact at that. And another thing is mock test. So without doing mock test, we have to have this time management. So without doing this mock test, we will not know how to attend this question. And these options, when we are seeing of each of the questions, it will be like very confusing for a person who is seeing it first. So doing mock test is very important. And not only mock test, the mock test is distributed as chapter wise. So for each chapter, there is one mock test. So by doing mock test, we will have some knowledge about this chapter, and we just have to make notes while there are classes. So basically, there were like a 2 hour session per day for 6 months. So after that, we have to revise those notes. We have to do mock tests, and there were soft copies of these materials that we can go through. So it was very helpful. And apart from that, generally this many of the coaching center gives only paper one coaching. But those who want to pursue law, or those who want to crack the UGC NET law, here paper 2 is also given importance, in which special coverage is given to this minor act as well, like the IPR. So it was a pleasant journey with Jurisedge, and I thank the Jurisedge family for helping me to crack this UGC NET exam.
Yeah, true. Because the thing, Shaheen, after not cracking in first 2 attempts, then there are a lot of things going on in someone's head. Okay,
Yeah.
is this correct? Am I doing that correct? What kind of mistakes I am making? And because when people, I mean, fail, they doubt themselves. They're doubting the process they are doing, and that's where the guidance, or what to do, what not to do, okay, what to study, which is very, very important. And I hope we have been part of this journey of your success, and help you the cracking the CLAT in the third attempt. Okay, sorry, NET in the third attempt. Yeah. So thank you very much, Shaheen, and all the very best in future. If you need any help, we are always there. Okay.
Sure, sir. I'll keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.